And good morning, everyone. Welcome live to Washington College as we're set to go with our first championship game of the day in the 2012 Maryland State Field Hockey Championships. Our first game of the day is the Class 1A title game between the Crisfield High School Crabbers and the Fallston High School Cougars, who are the defending Maryland State champions. And hello, everyone. Welcome live to Washington College. Connor Flegel here with you live alongside my broadcast partner for the day, Meredith Katona. And today we have a good matchup today, Meredith, between these two teams. Fallston, the defending state champions, again, coming in with a little bit of a surprising record at 12-7, but again back in a familiar territory, going for that state championship. And then you have Crisfield, a team that's never been in the title game, coming in at 16-1. Should be a good game today between these two squads.
Definitely, as the defending state champions of last year, Fallston, the record a little surprising as you said, but they are the defending state champions and they did get back here. So I mean, they definitely have something going for them. And Crisfield, who has also has a very very good record, so this should be a very good game overall today.
Again, Fallston, they have sort of that championship pedigree coming in here as the defending state champs. Do you think that gives them any sort of advantage over a squad like Crisfield, who, again, they've never been in front of an atmosphere like this before? This is their first ever appearance in the state final.
Right. I mean, definitely experience definitely has a lot to do with coming together and pulling through and winning something like a state championship. But, just overall with a great record too, I think that definitely contributes to part of it as well. I mean, with Crisfield, so that definitely puts them as a definite contender to win a championship today.
Again, Crisfield from the nearby Bayside Conference here on the Eastern Shore area, their first ever Bayside Conference championship and their first appearance in the state final, which again, set to get underway here in a few minutes in our Class 1A championship game. And we're just about set to step aside on the field for the national anthem, so we'll step aside as well, and we'll come back with the start of the Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game. And welcome back live to Chestertown, Maryland on the campus of Washington College on Maryland's Eastern Shores. We're just about set to go with our first Maryland State Championship game of the day for field hockey, the Class 1A Championship, again, between Crisfield and Fallston. And Meredith, you and I were just talking off the air. One thing that we noticed, Crisfield, again, a 16-1 record, but they only have 15 players on their entire roster, whereas Fallston's got a roster full of 26 players. Is that going to have any sort of effect as we go on today? Maybe sort of fatigue, a stage like this, a lot of adrenaline going between the two squads?
I mean, definitely. I think that this is a very, very the biggest stage for high school. So there's definitely, I think there's a lot of pressure. There could be a lot of anxiety and stress. So I mean, definitely having more players definitely is always a good thing to have. But this Crisfield team, they do, while their numbers may not be as large as Fallston, that I mean, they've clearly come and they've pulled away and gotten here. So, I mean, they've proven that they can definitely do a lot with not as many people. So I think we shouldn't just pass them by. They definitely are something to watch.
And you look at the statistical leaders for Crisfield, they have a couple of very dynamic offensive scorers. Taylor Marshall leads the team, 17 goals, 6 assists on the year, averaging exactly on 1 goal per game. So look for her to be around the cage today. And then you've got Ashlyn Heath, another senior at the forward spot. She has 15 goals as well. Carly Todd, even just the 9 goals, but has 13 assists. She knows how to set up her teammates. So this is a Crisfield squad with a lot of scores on, a lot of senior leadership. All 3 of those players are seniors. The starting goaltender, Naomi Barnes, just a sophomore. So you think it'd be important for the senior leadership sort of to have Barnes lean on them today so that she doesn't have to play as hard and hope that the offense can get something going.
Absolutely, yeah. She is a sophomore, but she has gotten her team, and she's made enough saves and enough nice plays to get her team to this point. So obviously she has stepped up, and she's shown that she has stepped up along with these seniors who have shown leadership as well.
And Crisfield in the visiting purple and gold jerseys, Fallston in the home whites and oranges, and we are underway with our Class 1A championship game this afternoon as Fallston has the opening possession, but then has the ball quickly taken away on a whistle and a foul call against Fallston as he gives the ball right back to the Crabbers as Rachel Evans, a junior for the Crabbers, took that ball away, and now she'll bring it down the near sideline, try to dribble it away, but it comes right back to the Fallston defender as the Cougars take this one away. Fallston going from left to right in this first half, trying to get something going as they're on the move quickly. They bring it down inside the offensive box, and a little bit of a crossover move here, and a whistle and a foul call from the referee, so the Cougars will maintain possession as they will play on. Now, Fallston's road to this title game again, 12-7. They're coming as the 3 seed out of the North, beat Manchester Valley the other night to get to this championship game. And for Crisfield, again, we mentioned the record 16-1, but they were the 4 seed coming out of the East, beat the top-ranked Sparrows Point the other night as well to get themselves here to Chestertown this afternoon in our state championship game. So both teams pulling minor upsets to get to where they are at this point as the 1 seed and the 2 seed both out, and sitting this one out and watching Fallston and Crisfield play here this afternoon. As again, we have a whistle, another foul, this one called on Crisfield, so it gives the ball back to the Cougars as Fallston will bring it up the far side. Now Fallston called for the foul, so really not a whole lot of offensive flow. I know we're early here, it's only the first minute and a half, but really neither teams had a chance to establish themselves on offense because there's been a lot of whistles, a lot of turnovers, sloppy play so far here in the first minute and a half. Do you attribute that more so to nerves, or is it just the way the defenses are playing?
It's probably, especially since the game has just gotten started, it's probably a little bit of nerves. There's a lot of pressure, and it's a big stage, and both teams are facing the same challenges right now. So it's just the winner of this game is really gonna be the one who comes out and says, you know what, no stress anymore. We're just gonna go out and play and do what we've been doing all year because it's been working. We've gotten here. So yeah.
As this one goes out of bounds along the far sideline, I believe it goes off of Crisfield, so it should be Fallston ball, and it will be as they'll inbound it from the far side. Just 2 minutes gone by here in this first half. And again, Fallston, we mentioned the defending state champions, so they've been here before on this stage, but they're doing it this year under a first-year head coach in Maddie Palco, who's guided the Cougars to a 12-7 record so far as Fallston brings it inside the offensive box. And a whistle and a stoppage of play and a whistle against Crisfield will give the Cougars the first penalty corner opportunity of the game, which they will take from the far side. And I believe this one will be taken by the senior, Marissa Perfetti. Looks like she'll take it from the far side as Crisfield lines up inside the cage. This one played out in front. Fallston from inside the circle, winds up a shot, takes 2 hops, then goes past the goaltender, but to the left and out of bounds of the Crisfield starting goalkeeper, Naomi Barnes, as she watches that one sail out of bounds to her left-hand side. No one from Crisfield touches it, so the Crabbers will take over possession as they get the defensive stand and don't allow Fallston to get any sort of offensive opportunity off the game's first corner. As Crisfield trying to clear up the far side, and they're able to knock the ball out of bounds off of one of the Cougars' defenders, so the Crabbers will take over possession in front of their own bench along the far sideline. Again, just 3 minutes gone by in the first half of our Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game today, the first of 4 games today here, Meredith, as we've got a jam-packed day here from Chestertown, Maryland. Beautiful facility here at Washington College to be hosting these championships today as well. I'm not sure if any of the players have ever seen anything like this, save for Fallston. Again, they were here a season ago.
Right. Again, Fallston has made it. They are the defending state champions, so it's it's a big stage, like I said, and it's definitely a learning experience just overall as just being a part of this in general, I think. So.
And Fallston has 3 players who are looking to go play elsewhere in college. You talk about Marissa Perfetti, who just took the corner earlier. She's interested in going on to the next level, as is Nicole McDiamond, interested as well, and Sarah DiMaggio. All 3 of them all looking to go on to the next level after their careers are over here at Fallston.
Right.
This is a Cougar squad, again. They have 7 losses this year, so you look at their record and you think, well, why is a team with 7 losses playing for a state championship? But then you realize they wanted a season to go. They've got the pedigree, and they know how to get it done when it comes time to championships and playoffs.
Absolutely, yeah, and I believe most of these 3 players that you just mentioned, I believe most of them were on the squad last year, so they've had something established from last year, and now they can take it to this year and come back again with a win, a championship win. So, yeah. They're take another corner here. So
Yes, again, we have another corner called as a whistle comes against Crisfield, so Fallston will get the second corner opportunity of the day. This one comes to the near side onto the stick of Danielle McDermott, and then this one goes out of bounds along the far side. I believe it will be just a long hit. Yes, a long hit from the far side for the Cougars as Crisfield plays this one out of bounds. So Fallston will play it from the far side back towards the center as a Crisfield defender comes over, tries to cut off the pass, and we get a whistle. And I guess a dangerous play called there, Meredith. Would that be what the call is there as it goes against Fallston?
Yes, it would be a bit of a dangerous call. There's a little bit of, not necessarily hacking, but there was a lot of big wind-ups and, close proximity. In high school, there's a tendency to call that very often just because it's a safety issue. So they're just trying to keep the game a little safer here for these 2 teams and give them the best opportunity they can to come back with a win.
And Crisfield with the ball here on the near side, but again, Fallston right there. They take it away as the Crabbers really haven't been able to get the ball across midfield here in the game's first 5.5 minutes. Fallston's been doing a lot of the controlling and been trying to set the tempo so far. But again, Crisfield's been playing good defense so far here today as well. But it just seems as though Fallston has had most of the possession, as they'll have it again here on the near side as it goes out of bounds, as it'll be McDermott. As she'll play it in over towards the corner. Fallston dribbles it past a couple defenders. This is the other McDermott. There's 2 McDermotts on the team as Fallston brings this one in towards the middle. A little bit of traffic in front, and the Crisfield defense gets there and plays it away from danger for the moment. But again, this one played back towards the center. A backhander sent towards the cage, blocked by a defender in front. The referee has her hands up, and this will lead to yet another penalty corner opportunity for the Cougars. They're third already here in the game's first 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to set a tone here. They're trying to come out and be like, they our 11-7 record, we're trying to prove that, we may have an 11-7 record or
12-7.
12-7, I'm sorry.
Yes.
But, that doesn't mean that, we're still here. We're still the defending state champions, and we're going to prove to you that, we're coming out here and we're going to get this. We're going to keep hold of our championship.
And Fallston turns it over there on the penalty corner opportunity as Lindsey Summers wound up to take that shot, but she wound up whiffing on it as the miss gives the ball back to the Crabbers as they'll try to play this one now out across midfield, and they will as they get it down into the Fallston defensive end. Ball on the far side is being tracked down, though, as it'll go out of bounds as Carly Abbott, the defender for Fallston, just lets this one go as the Cougars will take possession right back. But now Crisfield's able to get it back again, and a Fallston player winds up on the turf, but they actually call her for the foul. That was Summers, who wound up on the ground there, but then she gets called for the foul, some sort of violation, gives the ball right back to Crisfield. And we'll see now if the Crabbers can get anything going here on offense. Again, they had a lot of goal scorers on this squad. Marshall with the 17 goals. Heath has 15. So Crisfield knows how to get it done on the offensive end. They scored 57 goals so far this year in their first 17 games.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think for them it's going to be more about getting something going here. Fallston's come out and they've definitely gotten 3 corners. I mean, they've definitely come out and trying to set a tempo here, but Crisfield definitely trying to get something going on their end as well.
Crisfield had a chance there, but the Fallston defense gets there, closes that. Now quickly bringing up the near side is Nicole McDermott. She'll bring it back inside the offensive box again for Fallston, but now Crisfield there to take it away. They try to play it back to the near side, but it's taken away by the other McDermott. That's Danielle, and she'll play one down towards the corner. And Crisfield scrambling to get there now. A lot of contact on the near side of the foul call. And it goes against Fallston. So the Crabbers defense holds again on this possession for Fallston. And they'll take back the ball on the near side and get the play restarted. Again, the Crabbers coached by Emily Larmore. Her 4th season at the helm for Crisfield. Again, the 16-1 record this year, the best record that the Crabbers have ever had in a season. They've posted 8 shutouts this season along their way to the state championship game here this afternoon. So a very good defensive squad. And overall, Larmore's record of the school, 35 wins, 19 losses and 2 ties. Again, the 16-1 record this year, the best season that Crisfield has ever had, and they're trying to bring home the school's first state championship here this afternoon against the defending state champions of Fallston. As the Cougars call for another foul here on the near side, we'll give the ball back to Crisfield as it's on the stick of Ariel Johnston. As Johnston will play this one over towards the corner on the near side, goes out of bounds along the goal line. And I believe they're going to rule that nobody from Fallston touched it, so the Crabbers just send that one out of bounds. It'll be another possession here for the Cougars as they will try to clear it out of their own defensive end. Not a lot of shot opportunities so far for either team. It's been a lot of cat and mouse play so far. Again, Fallston early on had a lot of the offensive possession, but Crisfield starting to possess the ball more now here in the last 2 to 3 minutes, trying to keep it down in the Cougars' defensive end, as another foul here against Fallston will allow Crisfield to maintain possession.
Right. I mean, I think just, there has been a lot of cat and mouse, and there is a tendency, I think, a lot in high school to have a lot of cat and mouse play. It's just, it's kind of just like when somebody gets something going, that's usually when you see a lot more, people start coming out. There'll be a lot more goals. There'll be a lot more just like pressure constantly. So, and I think that hasn't quite been established yet here. So I think once whoever scores the first goal, I think is really going to set the pace. So.
Exactly. It's just more so each team needs to try to loosen up so far, I believe. It's still early on. You're playing for a state championship. And again, we mentioned it already. Fallston's been here before, but there's still, you got to remember, these are still high school kids.
Yeah.
And these are nervous moments. And stuff like this does get to them from time to time. And it's just up to them to see how they respond as the day goes on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think whether it's high school or college, I think if you're playing for a championship of any kind, you're going to get nervous. So.
As Crisfield trying to get something going here on the offensive end. This ball on the stick of Rachel Evans. Evans brings it inside the box. She'll feed this one out to the near side as it comes onto the stick of Paige Swift. And again, a Fallston player winds up on the ground, but the foul called against the Cougars as it goes against, I believe that was Summers, who for the second time here in the last few minutes has wound up on her backside, but yet still been called for the foul. So that's something that's a little bit unusual in the field hockey world as Crisfield tries to play this one to the middle, but the Cougars defense does a good job there, staying closely put, bunched together on the ball, and now Fallston gets it. They clear it out of their own defensive end, now trying to get a fast break going the other way, but it's currently 1-on-4 as Crisfield has the numbers, and they'll take the ball right back. A good defensive play made there
nice
by Cassidy Marshall for the Crabbers.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier about Summers being on the ground a couple times in these past few minutes, in high school they tend to call, if you're on the ground, it's usually an obstruction of some kind if you're obstructing the ball, so usually that's why it'll be a turnover. So just to clarify that a little bit. So.
And whenever Fallston's goalkeeper today will be tested, Sarah DiMaggio, she's very good on the season. She's faced 167 shots. She's saved 141 of them for the Cougars. It's an 84% clip. That's a very good save percentage rate for Fallston.
That is a very, very good save percentage rate, and that's, I'm sure DiMaggio's contribution was probably one of the reasons that they've gotten to this point. So.
As Crisfield trying to get something going here in midfield, the pass goes right back onto the stick of the Cougars defenders as Fallston again will try to bring this one up the near side. Another foul call against Crisfield will give the ball back to Fallston. And now we have a whistle and a timeout, I believe, has been taken. Fallston had possession, so I believe they were the ones that took it. So timeout on the field. We will step aside here as well. 18 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half of the Maryland Class 1A State Championship game on the MPSSAA network. Actually, that's a lie. We're not going to take a commercial. We're going to keep it right here. As, again, we have 18:07 to go in the first half between these two teams. And, again, so far, Meredith, been a lot of back and forth so far. Neither team has been able to get a whole ton of offensive pressure. It's been a lot of just dribbling back and forth, been a lot of, slight takeaways so far. And you almost get the feeling that whenever that first bit of offensive pressure does come, well, this is going to be an obvious statement, but it's going to be up to the defense to sort of fend it off. But the team that gets that first goal, again, like you mentioned, it'll allow the team that scores to be more relaxed. But, again, you can't change your style once that happens either.
No, you definitely can't. But, I think the establishment of a goal in a situation like this, in a very high-pressured situation, is definitely going to set a pace, and it's going to set a tone. And, depending on whichever team gets it, will definitely feel more relaxed. But the other team is definitely going to probably feel a little more pressure, but that pressure could, that could build into something to make a comeback and to, score and maybe overcome that. So I think it's really just it depends. These two teams are definitely going to be tested here, and the stakes are very high. So we're going to have to see how this comes out.
And again, this is a Crisfield squad, 16-1 on the season, defeated Sparrows Point to get here. Sparrows Point, another very good team. So Crisfield's already been through, sort of the tougher parts this year, so they're ready for any challenge, including the challenge they're facing today from the defending state champions in Fallston. As we're just about set to go here with a resume of action. We get 18 minutes and 7 seconds to go, first half. The Cougars will have possession on the near side, as it'll be on the stick of Nicole McDermott. As McDermott restarts the play by going right into the middle of 3 Crisfield defenders. She gets the foul call, so she'll maintain possession for Fallston and have a little bit of extra space to work with here. She restarts and then goes through the legs of one of the Crisfield defenders, but there was a separate defender for the Crabbers back to take it away. And now Crisfield again will try to work it up the near side, ball on the stick of Ashlyn Heath. Heath, another dynamic goal scorer for Crisfield so far. 15 goals, 6 assists on the season for the Crabbers. As this one comes down to the near side, good ball played up the near side here. We'll see if Crisfield can get their players back. As with the ball on her stick now is Rachel Evans. And now Fallston gets it. A nice play here on the near side made by Johnston to keep it in bounds. As coming down the near side with it here will be Crisfield.
Yeah, it looks like Fallston's going to get the ball back. It looked like the ball went out of bounds here, so we're going to see what they can do with this. And Crisfield's going to get the ball back.
And Crisfield has it again. Good play that made there. But again, Fallston's defense just collapsing to the ball, it feels like. It feels like wherever Crisfield tries to pass it here in this first half, the Cougars have a defender there. And again, that's the case here. As Fallston takes away, they'll bring it right back out across midfield and see what they can get going again. A nice play made here by Danielle McDermott as she plays it across inside the box. Now gets around one more defender. She's got a little bit of space on the near side. Plays a nice ball here to the middle, but it's taken away by a Crisfield defender. And then the defender tried to clear it and whiffed. I believe that was Swift.
Mm-hmm.
So this will lead to the 4th penalty corner opportunity for Fallston in this first half. And this one will be taken from the near side. The previous 3 were taken from the far side. We'll see if the Cougars can get something going here. Get some sort of offensive pressure, really. The last time they had a corner, they turned it right back over as the player whiffed on a shot. And this shot is blocked right back down. A good defensive play made there by the Crabbers, as that was Joanne Swift who got in the way, put that stick up perfectly in order to knock that one away from the Fallston offensive player. And now Crisfield with it again. They'll try to work it down the near side as Fallston is called for the foul.
Yeah, and again, I think that play that Swift made just there in the circle, that was a great play. I mean, that could have almost been a defensive, or could have been a defensive save. I mean, that was definitely that was a really nice play made by her, and a nice reverse sweep to get it out of the circle. So.
But again here as Crisfield tries to clear it, Fallston with a player in the passing lane. Now this one taken right back by the Cougars as they get inside their offensive zone, working it down the far side. A little bit of space here. They're attempted to be thrown to the middle, but a weak attempt made by the Fallston player as Crisfield winds up with it. But now Fallston gets it back, and they looked like that Becky Street kind of whiffed on that shot as she was trying to take it, but the referee says she got a piece of the ball, so the play stays alive. And now Crisfield winds up with it again anyhow as the Crabbers try to clear it out to midfield.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if it's a whiff, I mean, the player wasn't right up against her, so I mean, and sometimes if there's a little more space, the referees tend not to call that, so it could have been a contribution, of those 2 aspects, so.
Yes, Crisfield with it again here on the near side. Nice play to lift it in the air, and then it's knocked out of bounds by Fallston. A good play made there by Johnston as she threw that ball. She looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but she then threw it off the stick of the Fallston defender. That allows her to keep possession for Crisfield. And then she attempts to clear, but she got a little bit of the turf as she hit the ball, so Fallston there, they take it back. And now whistle on Crisfield keeps the ball with the Cougars. Fallston inside the circle. A high shot taken here, and it's knocked down high by the defender for Crisfield. That leads to another penalty corner for the Cougars. I guess that was sort of a high stick call, a dangerous play call of some sort against Crisfield.
Yes, the Crisfield defender, if it's above your shoulders, in field hockey, if the ball goes above your shoulders and you try to stop it above your shoulders, it's gonna be a foul and the other team's gonna get the ball.
Fallston with a good chance here. The shot's taken and a save made. The rebound comes loose on the far side. A Crisfield defender makes a diving effort at it as the ball comes free to lead to another corner for Fallston. But the first real save made of the game there by the Crisfield keeper Barnes, as that was a point-blank shot. Fallston had all kinds of space there, but the shot's turned away to the far side. Now Fallston will have another penalty corner. As this one's sent to the middle, knocked down again. Played to the near side. A high shot taken here, deflected in front, ball loose, and scrambled to the far side. A couple of Fallston players there, but neither one of them can get the handle on it as Crisfield's defense is able to hold for the moment. Fallston still with it inside the offensive circle. Some space on the near side here as Crisfield gets it and then tripped to the ground was the defender, and the Crabbers will wind up holding again on the defensive end as they will take back possession from Fallston and will get the clear going down the near side with 13 and a half minutes to go in the first half. But really, Meredith, that's the first big offensive chance we've seen for either team, as Fallston was actually able to get a shot on goal there, but Crisfield stands tall once more on the defensive end, as they have had to do for most of the day, as Fallston's again continuing to dominate most of the offensive chances.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of Fallston dominations here with the corners, with the amount of corners they've taken, with the amount of shots they've had, just their constant pressure in the Crisfield defensive end. I mean, I think that's showing that Fallston is definitely trying to establish themselves here. And we'll just have to see. I mean, and Crisfield has been making a lot of nice defensive plays, so I think it's been a relatively good game so far. A lot of pressure.
And that's, again, give Crisfield a lot of credit. Their defense has been outstanding here so far here in the game in the first half of this half, as this ball comes to the middle, but taken back by the Crowd as it comes onto the stick of Swift, and the Swift now will take it down the far side, outrunning a couple Fallston defenders. Now she'll just wind up and send this one down the field into the Fallston defensive end. Crisfield winds up with it as Fallston's unable to clear. This one played to the near side for an open teammate. Crisfield with a chance, sent towards the net in front, knocked down by a Fallston defender, but cleared right back out. Crisfield had a chance, but the ball comes through. And the Crabbers wind up with it on the stick of Todd as Todd throws one to the middle. But again, Fallston's defense collapses to the center in front of their goalkeeper, DiMaggio, keeps it away, and they'll bring it back to the top of the box. But now Crisfield gets there first, set back in towards the middle. A couple of players miss on it. Eventually comes all the way through to the defensive end, and it'll wind up being a penalty corner here for Crisfield. So again, the Crabbers do a good job there of getting some sort of offensive pressure, and now it'll lead to their first corner opportunity of the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is a big opportunity for Crisfield right here. This is their first penalty corner of the game. We haven't seen anything, seen any corner action from them. So, I mean, it should be interesting to see what they do.
This one played to the middle, just outside of the circle. Now inside, a shot taken, sent towards the right. Goaltender has to come out, and it's booted out of. Actually, I guess they're going to say that Fallston's keeper didn't touch it. Looked like that the keeper DiMaggio got a piece of it as she tried to kick it out wide to the far side, but they're going to say that no one touched it. It goes out of bounds off of Crisfield, so it's Cougars' possession. As we see Fallston's defense stand tall for the first time following a corner opportunity from Crisfield. And now the Cougars, nice play here as they bring it down the far side. And Fallston try to work it towards the middle, but actually a foul called here against Crisfield. So the Cougars will maintain possession on the far side of the field. Now they get it into the center of the box. And Crisfield now circles back with it, takes it back, taken by Fallston, but a foul call. As they say, the Cougars were a little bit too aggressive there on the offensive end, I believe, as Crisfield wound up with a ball, and they'll just wind up and clear it out of the box back towards the midfield circle. As this one now is a foul call against Crisfield, gives it back to Fallston. But now Fallston turns it right back over, and again, a foul against Crisfield. So here you see teams now trading it back and forth as the calls from the referees have really slowed down the pace of this one in the last minute or so, as neither team's been able to get a whole lot going once they've been able to take back possessions. As this one now finally is taken by Taylor Marshall. Team's leading goal scorer, again, has 17 of those so far this year, along with 6 assists. As this was worked down the near side, then played up in the air by Ashlyn Heath before Fallston takes it right back now on the near side, and another foul call. Looks like the referee pointed to her foot there as the foul was called against Fallston. I guess it was a kick ball of some sort against the Cougars.
Yeah, it could have been a foot call. I mean, in high school, you do get a lot of foot calls, so it wouldn't surprise me that it would have been a foot call. So it looks like there will be a foot call here too. A nice offensive play by Crisfield here, trying to just jam the ball into the foot and trying to get a foot call.
And again, Meredith, you played in high school, so you would know a lot more about the whole high school field hockey experience than I would, because obviously I've never played a game in my entire life. So you would know a thing or two more about that than I do, as Fallston's able to take this one back again from Crisfield, as the Crabbers couldn't get any offensive possession established there. But now Fallston turns it right back over as the Crabbers wind up with it again. They'll dribble this one down the near side, and a backhander thrown towards the middle is knocked out of bounds by McDermott, which will give the ball to the Crabbers on the near side. Just about 9 minutes to go in the first half, still scoreless between Fallston and Crisfield in our Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game. As the Cougars have it here, and they try to clear it out of the zone, but Crisfield's able to keep it in bounds, and now the ball does go out, as Johnston couldn't keep that one in bounds for the Crabbers, so Fallston winds up with it, and again, they quickly restart play, and we have a Crisfield player down here and slow to get back up, walking a little bit gingerly. That was Elaine Dees, who is down one moment. It looks like she still might have a little bit of a limp there in that right leg. She's trying to shake it off as Fallston has the play down now on the far opposite side of the field. And again, D's back here on the near side, still a little bit slow, and the referee now has stopped the clock. As we'll come over look. Looked like D's either got tripped up or a stick might have errantly caught her on the leg. Not sure what it was, but she was a little bit ginger here back on the near side.
Definitely. Definitely she was. And, it's good that, the referees are taking time just to, make sure that she's okay. And, that's the thing. It's just a nice thing to see that, that it's not just about, coming out and who's coming to win. It's just, you got to these are people here, and you got to make sure that they're okay just in general. So.
Well, Fallston with a chance here as they bring it inside the box, and Crisfield's defense gets back to close off. Now a pass to the center, and again the referee points to her foot here, so I guess to indicate that one of the Fallston players kicked it, so the ball comes back to Crisfield, as they'll just wind up now and clear this one out of the box.
It's especially difficult in the circle. I mean, it's so hard to keep the ball off your foot a lot of times because there's a lot of passes, there are a lot of people. You're just trying to get it past your teammate. It's very difficult to pass in between the circle and not have it hit a foot of some kind.
You have players for both teams sort of collapsing into the center there inside the circle, so you have the normal amount of players you would have on the full length of the field just playing inside that one little circular area. It's really hard to get a lot of passes off, let alone shots on goal.
Yes, definitely. And that's one of the challenges of high school, I think. It's just there's always a lot of people in circles, and, it's very hard to get any kind of thing going unless you're just kind of scrambling in the middle, so,
And a nice ball head here by Crisfield as it came off the stick of Evans. She played it down the far side, but then tried to play it to the center, got a little bit of a weak pass away, couldn't do anything with it, but now the ball goes out of bounds off of Fallston, so Crisfield will maintain possession as they'll try to send something into the middle here from on the far side on a long hit as the ball went out of bounds, as we're down to just about 7 minutes to go in the first half between Fallston and Crisfield, again still scoreless. As the Crabbers will start this play back up from along the corner on the far side as the referee indicates the restart of play. Crisfield gets this one, sends it towards the middle, knocked down in front by a Cougar defender, and a nice play there made by Fallston as he just cleared out of the box, but the ball goes out of bounds in front of the Cougars bench. So Crisfield, now we see Crisfield trying to get something going here on offense, try to maintain some sort of pressure. As this one's played all the way into the middle here from the far side, knocked down by a couple Fallston defenders. Ball loose, and it's tracked down first by the Cougars, and they'll get there and cleared back towards midfield, where Fallston now has it, but they're trying to come back 2-on-5, so the odds aren't in their favor, as Crisfield has more defenders back, and one of those defenders is there to take it away. That was Swift. And now foul call against Fallston, so Crisfield would just wind this one up and send it back towards midfield where it's knocked down by the Cougars. And trying to go in and out with the ball there was Todd. As she tried to get it through a couple defenders, she'll just wind up playing this one back to the near side for Marshall instead. And now foul call, I believe, against Fallston as the referee on the near side has her hand up. And again, winding up on the ground for the third time in this half is Lindsay Summers for Fallston, and she's called for a foul while laying on her back for the third time in this half. It's something that I could say that I've never really seen. Usually it's the player that winds up causing the player to fall to the ground that's called for the foul, not the player that's on the ground when the foul occurs.
Normally, I think, yeah, but I think Summers, it's fine to be aggressive and everything, but sometimes I think she's just trying, I personally think she's trying to play it up a little bit. So, I mean, and more power to her. She's trying to get it done for her team, but, I think,
This ball heading towards the corner on the near side goes out of bounds, however, is Crisfield. A good idea there, trying to play it towards the corner, maybe work something back towards the middle, but the Crabbers couldn't get to the ball in time as it winds up going out of bounds. It will be Fallston possession. And the referee's now having some sort of discussion as to where the ball is going to be played. And now the referees are actually changing their mind, saying that the ball went out of bounds off of Fallston along the goal line, which will give the ball to Crisfield on a long hit from the near side as the Crabbers play it back in. But again, Fallston has three defenders there as this one cleared back towards the center. Crisfield trying to maintain possession, and it comes right to the teeth of the Fallston defense. And it'll wind up being a penalty corner here for Crisfield. So good job by the Crabbers of maintaining that offensive possession for just long enough to enable themselves to get a penalty corner out of this. And we'll see what the Crabbers can do here. Just 4:40 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just what you got to do. You just got to keep pressuring and trying to find ways to get a corner, because a corner is really your best option and your best way of getting a goal.
This one wound up and taken. Oh, a little bit of a weak shot there off the stick of Todd, and it comes right to a Fallston defender who just easily clears out to the far side. Crisfield maintains possession, but Fallston is able to eliminate the sort of offensive threat there for the moment. As the Crabbers restart play. Actually, the referees are holding up play for a moment. And now the whistle has blown as Crisfield restarts. They play it back again towards the center, but Fallston gets there with a couple of players, and they'll work it outside of the offensive box. And the Cougars now trying to come back quickly, but again, they just don't have the numbers as they're trying to go 4-on-6 back in the other direction. And a foul here on Crisfield. Fallston has it. Good ball here up the near side, but it's taken back by a Crisfield double team as this one's wound up and sent to the near side where it's controlled by Marshall. Marshall loses it momentarily, but she's backed up by one of her teammates. A nice backhander up the near side here by Johnston. And then this one's knocked out of bounds by Fallston. Gives the ball back to Crisfield with 3.5 minutes to go until halftime. As this one will be restarted by Johnston. And Johnson has her pass attempt deflected in front there by McDermott. And now Crisfield has to retreat, play a little bit of defense here. They still have possession, but Fallston's driving them in the opposite direction. As Crisfield comes all the way back in the defensive end, now it's cleared down the near side again by the combination of Marshall and Johnson. They've had the ball a lot here this first half for Crisfield when the Crabbers have had the ball because, again, Fallston still controlling a lot of the offensive pressure. I believe Fallston still has the only shot on goal as well this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do. And, I mean, Fallston, like you said, they have been having the most amount of offensive pressure with the amount of corners, but Crisfield right here they've definitely been putting pressure, and they're definitely showing, that they can put pressure and they can get a goal. They can have the opportunity to score a goal.
Here's
So.
Jenna Caldwell for Fallston sending this one towards the center, but a couple Crisfield defenders are there, and they'll wind up knocking it outside. Oh, wait, we're going to get a whistle and a stoppage of play from the referee on a foul against Crisfield. Gives the ball to Fallston, and with another penalty corner opportunity, as this one will again be taken by Marissa Perfetti from the far side. Fifth or sixth corner opportunity the Fallston's had here so far in this first half. We'll see if the Cougars can capitalize this time and try to get something on the board. As the clock continues to tick down, about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Fallston has a nice ball here to the far side, knocked down, sent towards the middle, sent high up in the air by one of the Crisfield defenders. Play back towards the center, a little bit of space. A shot taken here and a save made. Rebound loose in front. Another shot taken, sent high in the air off the leg of the Crisfield defender. And then this shot, a third chance, goes wide and off the wheel of the goal on the near-hand side. So again, Fallston there, 3 shots on that corner opportunity, but no goal as the defense holds up just long enough to keep that one from going out. Now Crisfield will try to clear it here in the last minute and a half of this first half. But again there, Meredith, Fallston, 3 opportunities to find the back of the cage, all 3 of which turned away by the Crabbers defense.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to the Crisfield defense. I mean, we've seen it all during this first half. They've definitely come up and they've shown that, they definitely made a nice defensive plays throughout this first half, and it's what's keeping them in this game. So.
This one knocked out of bounds by Crisfield as they try to play it ahead. Went all the way through to the goal line as the Cougars will have possession here in their defensive end. They'll restart it as the clock again continues to tick down. This one knocked high up in the air by Fallston. Comes back to midfield where it's taken momentarily by Crisfield. Now the Cougars take it back with 1 minute left in the first half. Still scoreless between the Cougars of Fallston and the Crabbers of Crisfield as Fallston trying to get something going here in the last minute. Drumming up the center, coming through, and a foul call against Crisfield. Will keep the ball with Fallston from just outside of the scoring circle. And, good defensive play here made by the Crabbers as it's taken away one more time by Marshall. I feel like we've said her name a lot here in this first half. She's been all over the field. As this one on the near side. Look out. A player from each team goes to the ground. As, again, that was Summers who was on the ground for Fallston. And it was Johnston who was on the ground for Crisfield. Again, they call the foul on Summers, which gives the ball back to Crisfield. As this one's played ahead along the goal line, but it comes too far. As it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be off of the Crabbers. It's Fallston ball as we tick down to 15 seconds left here in the first half. And just enough time for the Cougars to clear it out of their defensive zone and keep Crisfield from getting anything. As the Crabbers take it back in midfield, but there's only 5 seconds to go. This one played into the center won't really matter. As Fallston knocks it down, they clear it back to the top. And that will do it for the first half this afternoon of the Class 1A Maryland Field Hockey Championship game between Fallston, the defending state champions, and Crisfield in the title game for the first time. Again, the score at halftime still, as we started, 0-0 between these two teams. And Meredith, in that first half, Fallston had, more of the shots, more of the offensive pressure, but the Crisfield defense really held up there when they had to in those sort of high-pressure defensive situations.
Yeah, it's definitely showing that both of these teams should be here in this game playing for this title. I mean, I think they both have opposite. They've both been showing opposite strengths during this first half. Crisfield showing a very, very strong defensive end, but the Fallston has been showing a very, very strong offensive end, and they both have been able to defend each other against each other from scoring goals. So I think that's a testament to both of these teams.
And again, we have a 7-minute break here now for the halftime on the field, so we'll step aside as well. Once again, your score at halftime of the Class 1A Maryland Field Hockey State Championship game between Fallston and Crisfield, still scoreless on the MPSSAA network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And welcome back now live to Chestertown, Maryland on the campus of Washington College as we're just about set to go with the second half this afternoon of our Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game between Fallston and Crisfield. Again, still scoreless at halftime. Not a ton of offensive opportunities in that first half, Meredith, but the ones that we did see came mostly from the Cougars of Fallston, the defending state champions, as they had a couple of good opportunities off of penalty corners, but every time they did, it seemed like the Crabbers' defense from Crisfield really stood tall and didn't allow Fallston to get anything going.
Definitely, and that's a testament to both of these teams. As I said when we finished the first half, that that both of these teams are showing why they should be in this game, playing for this title, and we'll see if something gets started. So hopefully, one of them gets something started here in the second half.
As the two teams have switched sides, Fallston now going from right to left in this second half. Crisfield obviously from left to right. The Crabbers are in the visiting purple and gold jerseys, and Fallston in the home whites and oranges. As this one's out of bounds on the near side off of Crisfield, it'll be Fallston ball as they will get the action restarted. Again, Fallston, the defending state champions from a season ago, looking for back-to-back state titles, while Crisfield is in this game for the first time after posting their best ever record in the regular season of 16 and wow, the regular season, but a combined overall season record, I should say, of 16-1. As the Cougars trying to get something going here with the ball's knocked out of bounds on the near side, but they're going to roll one off of a Crisfield player, so it will be Fallston possession. And something we talked about earlier before the game started, Meredith, was the two benches that these teams had. Crisfield only has 4 players on their bench, while Fallston on the other side has a 26-player roster. But neither team's made a substitution so far, as it looks like both head coaches so far are just content to let their starters roll on here and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, in this type of game where it's the score, neither team has scored a goal. You're just trying to keep the pressure going, and because your starters, you don't tend to have a lot of confidence in your starters, and you want to give your team the best opportunity that you can throughout the game. And I think once you start to see if you see a goal, I think that there's definitely going to be some substitutions for one of the teams or both of the teams maybe.
As Fallston brings the ball in here to the middle, good chance in front. A shot taken here to rebound, they score! Couldn't tell who it was in front, but Fallston finally gets on the board here less than 2 minutes into the second half. As a little bit of a restart play there following a foul from Crisfield allowed Fallston to have the opportunity in front. The initial shot there was taken, and the referee held her arms up. I guess the Crisfield defense was looking to see if the play was going to be stopped, but the play never was stopped as Fallston quickly pounced on the rebound in front. Nothing that the goaltender Barnes could do about it, and Fallston takes the 1-0 lead here just less than 2 minutes into half number 2. So the Cougars get that big first goal of the game, Meredith. And officially the goal being credited to Jenna Caldwell here for Fallston. For the moment, that'll be her 9th goal of the season for the Cougars as she gets the scoring starter here. Again, just 2 minutes into half number 2 as the Cougars take the 1-0 lead over the Crabbers. And again, Fallston, we saw Meredith just kept going on with the offensive pressure all through the first half. Again, here at the start of the second half, they had the first possession, and they're able to capitalize as they take the early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and I think that, this constant pressure that Fallston has been putting on, when you're constantly putting on offensive pressure, I mean, at some point, something's got to happen. Something's got to go your way. A goal has to be scored. If you're always on the defense, it's very, very difficult to get something offensive started, and offense wins games. So, it's a testament to Fallston.
Offense does win games, and now we'll see if the Cougars can make that just 1-0 lead stand. Again, they have a very good goaltender. DiMaggio saves 84% of her shots. We'll see if she's even heavily more tested here. You got to figure if Crisfield down 1-0 at this point, they haven't had a whole lot of offensive opportunities. Do they change their game plan now that they're down by this one goal, try to get something more going on offense, maybe be a little bit more aggressive, even if that might cost them on the defensive end?
I think it's a tough call here because we were only looking at this from one game. We've only seen one half of, something
Right.
that they've done. We don't quite know what always works or what doesn't work. We know that their strength is definitely on the defensive end, but like I said, we don't know quite what their offensive strategy is. So I think it's a little difficult for either of us to necessarily, say anything. But I think what they're doing defensively is definitely helping. Is definitely good, and if they can just get the ball up the field a little more, if they can get it past midfield. I mean, we've seen that their corners, they have gotten a few corners when they've gone into the circle and they've gotten past midfield. So I don't think it's necessarily that the offense is I don't know what the right word is there, but when they have the ball in a position where they can get something done, they definitely take advantage of it.
And here
so.
comes Crisfield now as they try to capitalize down the far side, but the ball comes through to the centers, taken back by the Fallston defense, and cleared all the way back out across midfield now by the Cougars. As they try to get something going here, a nice dribble in between a couple of defenders made there by the Fallston offensive player. That was McDermott. As McDermott continues to bring it into the heart of the Crisfield defense, and it'll lead to a corner opportunity here for the Cougars. So a good individual effort there made by Danielle McDermott. She dribbled it all the way through the Crisfield defense, and then eventually winds up getting a penalty corner opportunity out of it. And we'll see now Fallston can capitalize and perhaps get a second goal on the board. As this one on the restart, played down towards the center, knocked in front. A long shot taken here on 2 hops is knocked away in front by one of the Crisfield defenders. So a little bit of a defensive save made there by the Crabbers on defense. And now they'll try to clear it out of the zone, which they will, as it comes down the near side on the stick of Carly Todd. As Todd brings it across midfield before she has it taken away from her by Summers. As Summers will just take this one ahead on the near side. As Fallston has it on the stick of Perfetti. Perfetti, nice pass here to the near side. Onto the stick of Caldwell, who just scored the goal for the Cougars, but now the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Crisfield possession. Again, this is a Fallston squad. They finished their season hot. They've won their last 5 games, including the victory the other day over Manchester Valley. So at one point this year, Fallston was sitting with just that 7-7 record. Now all of a sudden they've run off 5 in a row to get to 5 games above 500, 12-7, now playing for the state championship. And it's a game which they lead 1-0 now thanks to the goal from Caldwell, as we have 24 minutes left here in the second half. And this one goes out of bounds off of Crisfield. It'll be Fallston possession from the near side. And again, Crisfield, they finished the season very hot as well, as the Crabbers won their last 10 games. Their only loss on the season was a 2-0 defeat on the road to Easton. That came in just their 6th game of the season. They've won every game since.
And I mean, that's just a testament, I think, to, the Crisfield offense. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen a whole lot of offense here from Crisfield today, but I mean, they've been proving. I mean, if you look at the statistics and the numbers of goals that they've scored in their games, they can score. They definitely have their offense is definitely, not something to just brush away, but we haven't quite seen a whole lot of it here. We've seen a lot of very strong defensive plays, but not necessarily so much offensive here.
And you look at Fallston looking at their scores from the year, they've had just 2 shutouts all season. So you look at that and you think to yourself, well, maybe the defense isn't all that great. But then you look at all the games where they've given up just 1 goal, 1 goal against Francis Scott Key, 1 goal against Severna Park, and then there was 3 games in a row which they won over Good Counsel, Bel Air, and North Hartford. They gave up only 1 goal apiece in those games as well. So they've had 7 games where they've given up 1 goal and 2 games where they've had shutouts. So Fallston very good on that defensive end, shutting down a team like Crisfield. We mentioned all the goal scorers that the Crabbers have. You talk about Marshall and Heath and Todd. They haven't been able to get anything going today due to the Fallston defense.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely, we've been talking a lot here about Fallston's offense, but I mean, you got to give it a testament to the defense as well, because Crisfield has not scored yet. So you got to, I mean, it's very easy to say, oh well, it's the offense, but defense does win. Offense and defense both win games. You have to have both to win a game. So
exactly, it's never just one or the other. It always seems to be more so of a combination. As Fallston will have the ball here following another Crisfield foul on the far side. And we'll see if the Cougars can get that second goal. It doesn't feel, it's a 1-0 lead is not insurmountable by any means, but again, we mentioned the way the Fallston's been playing so far. Crisfield needs to get something going here on offense and needs to get something going soon, just more so for confidence, more so than anything else, just so they can know that they will have the opportunities as this game goes along. As we have a foul call here against Fallston, gives the ball to the Crabbers, and we'll see if Crisfield can get something going here as they'll work it inside the offensive box on the far side on the stick of Taylor Marshall, the senior. And again, though, Fallston gets it back on defense. They'll just clear it out of bounds on the far side into the Crabbers bench area as Crisfield will maintain possession. And you look at the Crisfield squad, a lot of senior and junior leadership on this squad. Again, we mentioned the leading goal scorers, Marshall, Heath, and Todd are all seniors. So they want to win this game bad. It's the first time we mentioned that Crisfield's ever been in the state championship game. Those seniors want to go out on a high note. But again, Fallston wants to as well. They're looking for back-to-back, which is something you don't really see a whole lot of.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You definitely don't see a whole lot of back-to-back. I mean, but that's also, that's just a...
it's more so a compliment.
A testament to
exactly.
What they're doing and how they're doing it and how they can keep it going over, this period of time.
As Fallston has the, actually Crisfield has the ball here following a Fallston foul, as they'll just clear back to midfield where the Cougars defense tries to track it down. This one comes all the way back into the Fallston defensive end, where eventually it's taken by Carly Abbott, as Abbott will send this one back to midfield onto the stick of Perfetti. And now the Cougars turn it over on a foul call, gives it back to Crisfield, as they'll restart this one back on the near side. Again, Fallston with a 1-0 lead here over Crisfield in the Class 1A Maryland State Championship field hockey game, thanks to the goal from Jenna Caldwell just 1 minute and 53 seconds into the second half of our game here this afternoon. For Caldwell for Fallston, her 9th goal of the season, and she has the team lead in that category. As the Cougars trying to make it stand, but Crisfield trying to come back as Fallston takes this one away, though. And they'll dribble it down towards the center where a foul is called here against the Crabbers. So Fallston will wind up with possession with the ball back near the big midfield circle. Again, we're live on the campus this afternoon of Washington College in Chestertown. They're on the first of 4 state championship games here this afternoon that will be played here at Kibler Field, Roy Kirby Jr. Stadium. Our next game of the day coming up at 1:30 this afternoon will be Glen Elk against Poolesville in the Class 2A championship game. And then they look at our other matchups as the day goes along as well. Class 3A, you have Atherton coming in at 14-2, going up against an undefeated 17-0 Hereford squad. That'll be a good game. And then it's all capped off tonight at 6:30 with South River taking on Catonsville in the Class 4A championship game, which looks to be a very competitive game as well. So that's what we have looking forward to as the day goes along. As Fallston has it here, as they'll bring it along the goal line, and then this ball goes out of bounds as the Cougars were trying to dribble it and try to get it closer to the Crisfield goal. So it will be Crabber's ball here as they'll take back possession. Clock continues to tick down. 19 minutes left, second half. The 1-0 lead here for Fallston. As Crisfield will wind up this one, send it back towards midfield, but the Cougars knock it down as it's on the stick of Summers. We said her name a lot today for Fallston so far as
Yes,
well.
we have.
As Crisfield has it here as they try to take it back, and they'll bring it back across midfield. Good crowd on here this afternoon for the first game as well. The stands here mostly full. Holds about 2,000 to 2,500 people. And as I look down right now, Meredith, a really good crowd as there's not a whole lot of empty seats.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just a testament to the stage of this game and, you know, the dedication of all these people who contribute to getting these teams here. It's not just about the practices and the games and, you know, all the training. It's also a testament to all the support and the fans that have been with these teams their whole entire seasons.
As Fallston has it here, they try to cross it towards the center, and it's knocked out of bounds, but they're going to say it went off of, I believe, one of the Crisfield defenders, as this will lead to a long hit from the far side for the Cougars. As Fallston will just gingerly play it in, back towards the center. A backhander in front here, knocked down by the Crabbers on defense, as again they try to clear it out to the top of the zone, but Fallston doing all they can to keep it in. And look out, as on the ground there went one of the Fallston players, and the referee stops the clock, and she's having a talking to with one of the defenders. It looks like a card has been issued against the Crisfield defense. So card here comes out against Crisfield, 17:42 to go in the second half. We have a substitute come into the game here for the Crabbers as well. As onto the field for the first time is Alexis McCready, as we see that first substitution of the day for either side. As this one comes to the middle, is knocked down in front, we have a whistle and a penalty corner call here as the foul goes against Crisfield. So Fallston will get another corner opportunity. We'll see if the Cougars can capitalize. They've had a lot of these corner opportunities today. They've gotten a lot of shots off, but for the most part, the Crabbers defense has stood tall when Fallston has had these opportunities, and we'll see if the Crabbers can do it again here. As Fallston starts it up, sends it towards the top of the box. This one dribbled back towards the near side. And in front, a nice pass here, but a good play made by the Crisfield defender. But Fallston gets it back, sends one towards the net, and did it go in? Yes, it went in. It's a goal for Fallston.
That was a nice shot.
A very nice shot there as the Cougars played it when that was just sort of a wicked shot there, as it was a hard opportunity. It came from the far side, almost sort of like a hockey one-timer there.
Yep.
As the player, again, couldn't tell who it was, but they sent it towards the net and snuck it in beautifully on the right-hand corner here on the far side. It's a 2-0 Fallston lead now with 16:59 to go in the second half. And now we have a discussion from the referees with one of the Crisfield players, one of the Fallston players as well. Again, we're still trying to get confirmation on who scored the goal. We do know now that it is a 2-0 Fallston lead although they haven't put the goal on the board yet. 16:59 to go in the second half, and if this goal does stand, it's a huge goal, obviously, for the Cougars, again, trying to repeat as state champions. And again, there, Meredith, on that play, it looked like it was just sort of a loose ball on the far side, but the Fallston player wound up with it and just wound up on it about as hard as she could and was able to sneak it into the right-hand corner of the net.
Yes, and it's kind of tough to, you think the ball's going to be cleared out, but there's a defender there, and, a lot of times you just don't think, they're going to take a shot maybe, but you don't think that it's going to be, a lot of times it's just all of a reaction. It's just a reaction, and you just kind of take it, and, that's what the Fallston player did there. She just saw the ball coming, and she won, like you said, she one-timed it, and, for field hockey, it's very difficult to defend against a one-time shot. It's a very difficult thing to have a very nice one-time shot. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent to be able to do that. So that's a testament to the Fallston player here right now to be able to score that goal.
So it's a 2-0 Fallston lead now as the goal has officially been put on the board. And now both teams are being sent to their benches, and the goal has officially been credited to Caldwell, her second goal of the day for Fallston, and her 10th of the season, and she's given the Cougars a 2-0 lead. And now I believe we have a timeout taken on the field as well. So timeout on the field. We will go ahead and step aside as well. 16 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the second half of the Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game. It's a 2-0 Fallston lead over Crisfield on the MPSSAA network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And back now live in Chestertown, Maryland, the Fallston Cougars have a 2-0 lead over the Crisfield Crabbers in the Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Championship game, thanks to 2 goals off the stick of Jenna Caldwell. And the last one we saw was just a rocket of a shot as she's had it from the far side. Didn't have the ball in her stick for more than about half a second, and then was just able to beautifully paint the inside corner here on the near side. Gives the Cougars a huge 2-0 lead, as again they're looking to repeat as the Class 1A Maryland State champions, and that second goal was obviously huge as the crowd's fired up, the bench is fired up, and now we have to see how Crisfield is able to respond to that. Need to get something going quickly as they have the ball down here in the offensive zone, but now it's taken right back by Fallston as they have it near the corner, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Crisfield on the goal line. This will lead to possession for the Cougars. And Meredith, now if you are Crisfield, down by 2 goals, your defense has been playing fairly solid all day, but then you've had the 2 goals by Caldwell. At what point do you just start abandoning the game plan and going all out on offense, trying to get these 2 goals back? Again, there's only 16 minutes left.
Right. I mean, I think at this point they definitely, at this point you really have to come and you really got to say, the team's got to come together and say, we really got to get something going here. 15 minutes just under 16 minutes. We still have time, but it's not as much as we would necessarily like probably at this point. So we got to take advantage, and we really have to step up and come and try and get something going here, because we know that they can. We've seen, through their statistics throughout the year, we've seen them get 11 goals, 9 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals. We've seen them get a lot of goals in a game. So there is a plan that works, and it's in there somewhere. And, I think they need one play to just go their way. And I think if they have one play that goes their way, then I think that will change the game, I think.
Again, they just need to get the offensive possessions in order to have that happen, though, because they've had possessions, but they haven't been able to get any good offensive opportunities, I should say, because, again, as you see here, they try to bring the ball across midfield, and the Cougars just collapse the ball, take it right back, and now it's Fallston who can go ahead, go on a little bit of an offensive streak, take some more seconds off the clock, and now you have a foul call against Crisfield, keeps the ball with the Cougars. As we're down to just less than 15 minutes left, again, a 2-0 Fallston lead here over Crisfield. As the Cougars will restart play, this is Summers.
Yeah, it's just a little.
This one down towards the center. And another foul call against Crisfield gives the ball back to Fallston, as they'll have it on the near side on this corner opportunity. So again, Fallston another corner here. They'll kill about another 25, 30 seconds off the clock, try to get something going on the offensive end as this one's quickly restarted into the center, top of the circle. Summers winds up here, takes the shot, ball loose in front, knocked down. Summers gets it back, and then we have a whistle, and I believe a foul against Fallston gives the ball back to Crisfield.
Yeah, I think the ref kind of had a little bit of an obstruction call. I think she called right there. So, you know, and it's difficult in the circle to really be able to see stuff and really be able to, and it's a testament to the refs to be able to see stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we talk about the players and their abilities, but the referees have to have a keen eye for stuff as well.
Definitely.
Because when you have all the players sort of bunched inside the circle area there, sometimes it's hard to make the call as the ball gets deflected around off a couple of different players. It's hard to do sometimes.
It's very, very difficult to do. I mean, I give them a lot of credit because it's very, very difficult, especially when you just have so many people in one small little area. So.
A foul call here against Fallston gives the ball back to Crisfield as they'll just go ahead and clear this one down the near side out across midfield as the Cougars will have possession. They'll restart the play here with just about 13 minutes to go in half number 2. Again, Fallston looking for back-to-back state championships, and they have a 2-0 lead here over the first-time finalists in Crisfield. And how impressive would it be if Fallston is able to hold on? They won the state championship last year. This year, a brand new head coach in Matty Palco with 12-7 record in the championship game, and with an opportunity to win it here. It would be pretty impressive if Fallston's able to hang on, win 2 championships in back-to-back years with 2 different coaches. It's something that just doesn't happen a lot.
No, it definitely doesn't, and that's definitely would be a testament to this Fallston squad and their coaching staff. I mean, it's one thing to win a state championship with one coach, but to have it to be back in the same position again the next year with a completely different coach. I mean, that's definitely a testament not only to the players but to the coaching staff to be able to adapt to this team and be able to have the team adapt to them as well. So.
But again, there's still a lot of time left here, 12.5 minutes, and we've been talking about the capabilities that Crisfield does have on offense. So they could very quickly get 1 or 2 goals here in a span of a minute and a half or so and turn this game completely around. So it's just the fact that Crisfield needs to try and get those offensive possessions, which is something they just haven't been able to do yet, and they're running out of time, down to just about 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think, like you said, there's not been a whole lot of offensive plays for Crisfield here. So we've really seen a lot of Fallston offense right here. So I mean, it's just something that I think they're going to get the ball over the midfield line right now. So let's just see what they can do with it.
And we'll see if Crisfield is able to generate any sort of offensive pressure here as they have the ball just outside of the offensive box along the far side, trying to get it in. But again, Fallston's defense they're just sending more and more players to the ball, it seems like, as the game goes on. This Cougars defense just collapsing to the ball, keeping up the pressure, not allowing Crisfield any clear passing lanes. But they have a chance here as this one's sent towards the cage, but it's going to be wide, taken back by the Fallston defense. And a good in-and-out dribble here made by Summers as she'll get it away, trying to send it down the field, and a foul call against Fallston will keep the ball inside the box for Crisfield. And now we have ball goes out of bounds on the far side off of the Crabbers, so Fallston takes possession right back with 11 minutes to go, second half, a 2-0 Cougars advantage over the Crabbers in the Class 1A Maryland State Championship game. Again, the first of 4 games here this afternoon on the campus of Washington College. As we have a foul call here on Crisfield as the player went to hit the ball and completely whiffed on it, which gives the ball back to Fallston. As the Cougars will take over possession from just about midfield as it's on the stick of Summers. Summers tries to get it through a couple of defenders. It's blocked off by one, but a foul call on Crisfield once again gives the ball back to Fallston. And now this one goes out of bounds on the far side off of Crisfield. Keeps the ball with the Cougars again. As Fallston just continuing to they're doing all they have to do right now. Just take time off the clock, not necessarily even get shots. Just take the time off the clock, possess the ball, and not give Crisfield any opportunities. As this one's loose in front, has to be kicked away by the keeper, Barnes. And it'll wind up being a corner opportunity for Fallston as a loose ball in front leads to the corner opportunity for the Cougars one more time, already with a 2-0 lead and looking for more.
Yeah, and like you said, it's definitely just key here for Fallston to just kill time off the clock because, I mean, they have a 2-0 advantage right here. They're just going to try and just keep it away from Crisfield. just throughout these next 9 minutes or so.
But Fallston called for a foul there on the corner as the Crabbers defense again holds on the corner opportunity. But now they turn the ball right back over as Fallston brings it inside the box. Nice dribble to the center here, but Crisfield gets back, cuts it away, and then we have an offensive foul call against the Cougars. A little bit too aggressive there was one of the players. But again, Crisfield trying to clear it, turns it right back over to Fallston. This one on the goal line, crossed towards the center, and just easily kicked out of bounds by the keeper Barnes as she was able to make the easy save there. It'll lead to a long hit, though, here again for Fallston. As the Cougars maintaining possession, they've already killed almost 2 minutes on this one possession alone. As this one crossed toward the middle, again goes out of bounds off of Crisfield. It'll be another long hit for the Cougars. As the Crisfield fans club trying to fire up their defense here, as this one's loose in front and whiffing on the play there was Caldwell, who was looking for the hat trick. She's already scored twice. She was looking for the third one there, but missed on the shot opportunity, which gives the ball back to Crisfield. So Fallston possesses the ball there. They don't get any shots on goal, but they possess the ball for 2.5 minutes. There's now just 8.5 minutes to go. So really, if you're the Cougars, you did what you wanted to do there. You killed time off the clock and just not allowing Crisfield to get anything going.
Yeah, I think that's just, that's really, like I said before, like what we've said, I think it's just necessary for that to happen. But it looks like Crisfield here is going to have a little pressure here.
Crisfield's got a chance here as they bring it down the near side. This one deflected high up in the air by the Fallston defense. And again, as Crisfield tries to get something going on the offensive end, the Cougars defense just collapses to the ball and doesn't make things easy for the Crabbers. And this time we get a foul on Fallston, keeps the ball with Crisfield down in their own offensive end on the near side. 8 minutes left in the second half. As this one wound up, sent towards the middle, knocked down in front by a Cougars defender. Ball still loose, comes free. Crisfield has it. They'll take it towards the far side. A backhander sent towards the center here. Still loose in front. Rebound chance here, and shot goes wide, but first we got a whistle.
Be a corner for Crisfield right here.
A foul call. Fallston gives the penalty corner opportunity on Crisfield, and you almost feel that like the Crabbers have to capitalize here. Again, time taken down, just 7.5 minutes to go. Crisfield needs to get something going, down 2-0. We'll see if they can do it here with a perfect opportunity. This one will be restarted by Evans. Evans sends one towards the middle. Nice pass to the far side. A little shot taken here, but it's weak. Oh, but the defender comes in front. That's Evans. A backhander and a save made as it goes off the chest of DiMaggio. Rebound in front. Again is kicked wide by DiMaggio for the Cougars as she sends it out of bounds on the near side. Great defensive plays made there by the Fallston goalkeeper, Sarah DiMaggio. As the senior comes up big in cage for the Cougars, sending it out of bounds twice on 2 very good shot opportunities for Crisfield. Now as Crisfield tries to restart it, it's taken back by Fallston. And oh, look out, Crisfield player goes to the ground, loses her shoe on the play. And I don't think the referees ever blew it dead. Yes, they did. And they called the foul against Crisfield. So the ball comes back to Fallston. A lot of contact there both ways, Meredith. You could have called it either way. And unfortunately for the Crabbers, it went against them as the Cougars take it back. And they'll bring up the near side here.
Yeah, I think that, we've seen a lot of players on the ground here for both teams today, and it's usually in field hockey, if you're the person on the ground, it's going to be a foul, and the ball's going to be given to the other team. I don't know why. It's just one of those field hockey rules that they just have. So, it's and it's unfortunately it's happened a lot. It's happened a bunch of times for both teams. So I mean, it's kind of a give and take right there. So, got to call it for both teams though. If you're going to call for one, you should call it for the other. So.
And I think the referees, for the most part, have done a good job today of making the calls that have been necessary. As Crisfield called for another foul here, gives the ball back to the Cougars as they'll send this one into the offensive end, but it comes too far. As it goes out of bounds, it'll be Crisfield ball as they'll start it out of their own defensive end. Time continues to tick down. Just 5.5 minutes left here in our Class 1A state championship game. First of 4 games today here in Chestertown. Going to be a busy day as 4 state championships will be decided today. As Crisfield has it, they'll send this one down the far side, but the pass comes too far and through the legs of, I believe that was Swift. No, it looked like that was Marshall as it went too far for her, and out of bounds, it'll be Fallston ball. As they'll restart on the defense, 5 minutes to go. They try to send it back to midfield, but taken back here by Crisfield. Here come the Crabbers. Inside the offensive end, they bring it quickly. This one now loose in front, and again, Fallston's defense gets there, collapses on the ball, and just sends it away from the majority of the players out to the near side where the Cougars can regroup. And they'll dribble it down the near side here, and then it's sent out of bounds by Crisfield. It'll be Fallston possession. And it'll be restarted by Summers. Lindsay Summers, the senior. Now she'll send this one up the near side now. Crisfield trying to take it back, and they will as the foul call comes against the Cougars. Again, Fallston just trying to take some time off that clock. They're doing a good job of it so far as we're down to about 4 minutes left in the game, which they lead 2-0. And now Crisfield with a chance here as they send it all the way down the field into the offensive box. This is Ashlyn Heath. And again, though, Fallston gets back as this is Summers getting to it first. Just getting it back to midfield as Fallston now clears it across midfield. And they'll bring it down all the way into their own offensive box. A good play made here by the Cougars as they keep the play alive on offense. And Crisfield gets back on defense to close off with a foul call now against the Crabbers. Gives the ball to the Cougars from just outside of the offensive shooting circle.
Yeah, and I think right there, Crisfield was just trying to stop the play, stop the momentum right there. And unfortunately, when you're trying to do it like that, it's a little bit of an obstruction call. But it keeps the ball outside the circle, and it doesn't give them a corner. So it's unfortunate. It's just a stoppage of momentum. So, and they got the ball back. So.
As this one loose towards the top of the box. Is taken back now by the Crabbers as they just need to go all out here in the last 3 minutes, down by 2 goals. Very hard to make up. But again, Crisfield has the capability to do so with the offensive scores they have on their team.
Yeah, they definitely do. You know, we haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of offensive, plays and opportunities today. But, I think when they have gotten them, they really have tried to take advantage of them. So, it's just one of those things. I think it's just one of those days, we just sometimes you just get it and sometimes they just happen and sometimes, it's just the way, the nature of the beast, I think.
Yeah, the Fallston defense has been standing really tall here today as the time continues to tick down. Just 2.5 minutes to go for the Cougars as they have possession. Ooh, and a Crisfield player goes to the ground here, coming up a little bit gingerly. That's Alexis McCready. But she looks to be back to full strength now. She's back up to her feet as this will be a play out of the zone by Crisfield as they'll just try to clear it out of their own defensive end here. But again, taken right back by Fallston as they're not allowing Crisfield to have any opportunity to move up the field. This one comes all the way to the middle and is knocked out of bounds by Crisfield. Actually, I believe they have a penalty. Yes, a penalty corner has been called in favor of Fallston as the Cougars will take it from the near side one more time. It'll be Marissa Perfetti. And she's taking her time here, as is the rest of the Fallston squad, just trying to kill this clock off. We're down to 1:45 to go in the second half. Fallston looking for back-to-back state championships. Now Summers has it. Oh, nice between the legs pass here. This one sent towards the middle. Ball loose in front. And the referee pointing to her knee this time as the foul goes against Fallston, gives the ball back to Crisfield with 1.5 minutes to go.
Nice hard pass right there from Crisfield, but fortunately no players there to be able to stop it. So I think, we've seen a lot of strong passes and strong hits from both teams here today. So it's a testament to both of them. They're both really good teams. So, yeah.
As Crisfield has it here, just trying to get something going here. The clock continues to tick down. It's not in their favor as we're down to 1 minute left on our game this afternoon. Fallston with a 2-0 lead, looking for back-to-back state titles. Crisfield with it on the near side. This one passed towards the center. All loose in front here. The Crabbers with a chance, sent towards the net. Ball loose on the far side. 2 players there. Neither one of them can send it in as this one's still loose in front and kicked out of bounds eventually by the keeper, DiMaggio.
This will be a corner, though. Corner here with just under about 40 seconds to go. So this could potentially be
it looks like they're going to call a long hit instead.
It looked like the ref called a corner initially.
I think she initially did, and then as she saw that the play stayed alive, she decided to let it play out, and DiMaggio eventually just kicked out of bounds. Now Fallston gets it, and they clear it down the field. The crowd's starting to get loud here. 20 seconds left for the Cougars, separating them from their second straight state championship, as Crisfield has it here on the far side, trying to get something going here. And a whistle, foul call here on Crisfield, gives the ball back to Fallston. Just 5 seconds left. clock continues to tick down, and the Cougars won't even bother restarting it as that does it as time has run out. And for the second consecutive year, the Fallston High School Cougars are the Class 1A Maryland State Field Hockey Champions. As they do it for the second year in a row, this time they defeat Crisfield by the final score of 2-0. As both goals for Fallston coming in the second half off the stick of the junior Jenna Caldwell. She got it started just a minute 53 into the second half, and she tacked on her second goal about 10 minutes later. As the Cougars win the state championship for the second year in a row. Again, the final score of 2-0. And the Cougars will finish with a record on the year of 13-7. Crisfield drops to 16-2. And Meredith, again, Fallston, from start to finish here this afternoon, offense and defense, they had the better of the play as they just seemed to dominate. Crisfield played them tough, don't get me wrong, but Fallston was just clearly the better team here today.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. You know, Fallston just came out, and you could just see in like the first, few minutes of the game, they got corners, they put pressure on the Crisfield defense, and they took advantage of what opportunities they had. I mean, I don't believe any of the goals came off corners, but they did have a lot of corners, and if you're constantly in the circle and you're constantly giving the opposing team pressure, I mean, at some point it's something just the ball has to go into the goal. So, but definitely a credit to both of these teams. Both of these teams definitely deserve to be here and playing in this game.
And we've talked about it before the game for Fallston Caldwell, team's leading scorer now with 10 on the year. As she finishes the season with 10 as the team's leading scorer. DiMaggio, we talked about her coming in an 84% save percentage, finishes the season very strong with the shutout for the Cougars, her third of the year, as again Fallston takes this game by the final score of 2-0 to take the state championship. As we'll step aside right now, but we'll come right back for the awards ceremony right after this on the MPSSAA Network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.